Hello, my name is Joe Hill. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of Circulation. And in the next few minutes, I'd like to introduce to you to many of the new things that we've launched with our journal going forward. First of all, we've refocused our energies around a global readership. We want to make our content especially relevant to clinical practitioners around the world. We will continue to publish, of course, investigative papers that span the spectrum from health services research and epidemiology, and importantly, clinical trials and basic science translational work, etc., continuing the proud tradition of publishing across the broad landscape of cardiovascular investigation. And we will redouble our efforts to make sure that all of that content speaks to the clinicians, speaks to the people who are taking care of patients with heart disease around the world. We will change our content in a number of exciting new ways. We'll be delivering content in a section called Frame of Reference, which will be relatively short pieces. One called Perspective, where we've asked noted authorities to give us their perspective on the world from their vantage point in leadership or elsewhere. We have another piece called On My Mind, which I think is especially innovative, where we've asked a number of people to take one page and give us their thoughts about something that they have on their mind, something they've wanted to say for a long time, and something they want feedback from. And each of those On My Mind will be tracked with a blog where we hope to engender a conversation around the topics that have come out there. In that Frame of Reference piece, we'll also have point-counterpoint debates. We'll have something called Clinical Implications of Basic Research, where we'll bring before the practicing community exciting developments like CRISPR-Cas9 or iPS cells, things like that, that really everybody needs to know about. Also within Frame of Reference, we have a piece called Paths to Discovery, where under the leadership of John Rutherford, we are interviewing noted discoverers around the world who've made path-breaking discoveries and asking them to tell us the story of how you got there. Often it's easy to think that these things are a monotonic rise to greatness, but in fact, typically there are challenges and dead ends and roadblocks, and we're going to be hearing a number of really interesting stories around these paths to discovery. That's Frame of Reference. We'll also have something called State of the Art, which is more classic, longer, multi-page review articles with numerous citations. Something shorter called Primer, more like 3 pages, something a little shorter. So we have Frame of Reference, we'll have original research articles, State of the Art, and then finally a section called The Pulse, where we will bring forward content from other AHA journals, the subspecialty journals and other journals within the AHA portfolio. We'll make sure we highlight some of the exciting things that are coming out there. We'll also be bringing before our readership innovations that are coming out of the FDA or CMS or elsewhere. We're also working with some professional writers who will be bringing content, news features around biomedicine, broadly speaking. So the content is changing in exciting new ways, and the way we deliver that content is changing in exciting new ways. First of all, in the print journal itself, you will notice a number of changes. The look of the cover is quite different. It has a clean, fresh, modern look with judicious use of color to depict the different types of content that we have in the journal. Also on the cover of the print journal, we have something that I'm especially excited about, and that is the circulation doodle. Leveraging on the idea from the Google.com website, where they whimsically depict the word Google based on something that's happening that day or happening that month, we will do the same thing with the word circulation, where every month we are reaching out to artists, those of you who are listening to this now, to depict the word circulation in a whimsical way related to the theme of that month. The first month we've already published the first doodle. It has to do with the theme of Texas, because the journal headquarters is returning to Texas, having been here previously under the leadership of Jim Willerson. The second month in August, the theme will be vacation, and there will be a different theme every month, and going forward the monthly themes will also migrate, and we look forward to your input around that as well. We have greatly amplified our use of social media under the leadership of Amit Khera in Dallas. He is leading our social media and digital media strategies, and another exciting part of this will be a podcast that we're launching. This will be under the leadership of Carolyn Lam in Singapore. She'll be hosting every week's podcast, and that will comprise the first part where we, the senior editors, will identify a paper that we would like to highlight in a given issue, and Carolyn will interview the authors and the associate editor who partnered together to bring that content out into the journal. So you can expect to see our leadership team and learn about our leadership team through this podcast. And finally, I'm especially excited about the way we curate this content. I'm fortunate to work with an amazing team of editors that we've recruited to accomplish this. The senior editor team consists of myself, James DeLamos, a noted authority on biomarkers and acute coronary syndromes, Darren McGuire, a noted authority on large multi-center trials focusing in the diabetes space, and finally Mark Drasner, an authority in heart failure clinical practice and investigation. So we've covered the spectrum at our senior leadership team from basic science, which is the work that I do, to ACS and heart failure and diabetes and so forth. And then we partner across this with a team of associate editors, approximately 50 of them as before. But in an initiative that we've launched, which is different than previously, we will have a global distributed leadership model at that level. Approximately a third of our associate editors will be based in Dallas. Another third will be based in the US outside of Dallas. And finally, another third are positioned globally outside the United States. We have 5 associate editors in Europe, 1 in the United Kingdom, 3 in Asia, 1 in South America, 1 in Africa, and we have 2 or 3 more on the way. Each of those editors has the very same role, whether they are in Dallas, elsewhere in the US, or abroad. Each of those has the same seat at the leadership table. Each has the opportunity to bring in creative energy and initiative into the journal. Each has the same decision-making authority. It is a global team that will, I believe, position us to reach out and meet the needs of practitioners and investigators around the world. Heart disease is a global problem. It is rapidly spreading from the developed world into the developing world, and we want to make sure the journal does an absolutely optimal job of partnering with people around the world to tackle these enormous challenges. I thank you for your attention. I've introduced our vision for re-engineering our global footprint of reaching out to practitioners and investigators around the world, the new content that we're delivering, the new ways in which we're delivering that content, and again, our globally distributed leadership model. I urge you to visit our website to learn more, and I thank you for your attention.